everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jen. I post videos 3 times a week, and today's video I'm going to be testing a Primark makeup palette. So here I have the Mesmer-Eyes Eye and Face palette, and it's in this gorgeous cloudy pink packaging. And this was only £7, which is very, very affordable. This is brand new to Primark, and I thought I'd test it out for you today to see if it is worth the money. If this is a really good palette, you have your bronzer, your blush and your eye makeup all in here with a highlight as well. So I thought this would be a good palette for travelling if you don't want to take lots of little tiny bits with you. So the palette comes with a sheet with all the name shades on, but I am just going to remove that so you can see what the palette looks like. So you have these 2 big shades here. One's like a highlighty green and one's like a matte bronzer shade. Then you have your day eyeshadows and your night eyeshadows, but I also think you could use some of the pinks for blushes. So yeah, I am going to be testing this today. If this is the kind of video you like watching, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll get straight into the review. So on the top of the palette it says Daydreamer Night Thinker, and I think I'm going to start with this big bronze shade here. I've already got my base on, I've already got my foundation, my concealer and my powder on with my eyebrows. So I'm going to take this big bronzy shade here, and all my brushes are BH Cosmetics or Real Techniques. So I'm just going to lightly pat that and tap the excess off, because it looks very, very pigmented. It does look a little bit dark. It looks a little bit patchy and a little bit too dark. I only put a tiny bit on. Well, it's definitely making my face look a lot more bronzed, and it does seem to be blending out quite well. Not the easiest bronzer I've ever blended out, and you do have to be careful with how much you put on, because Primark do really good pigmented blushes and bronzers and stuff like that, so you only need a little bit. So I am going to take a little bit more and do the other side. So it seems like a nice shade. I think it definitely gives like the kind of chiseled look with this bronzer. It really helps stand out my cheekbones a little bit better. I think it does look a little bit patchy on my forehead. It's not the best bronzer I've ever used, and I don't normally get on with Primark bronzers, to be honest, but I think it is giving a nice tanned coloured look. I definitely think it could be better. I think you could use this bronzer for all skin tones, just depending on how much you want to put on your brush. But I think it is a really nice colour. It's not too dark, it's roughly a medium kind of shade. I'm going to take this little light pink shade here and use it as a blusher. So I'm going to dab that on my cheeks very, very lightly. It definitely comes off lighter than what it actually looks like in the pan. It's definitely a pale pink blusher, but I actually really like that. I don't like my blushes too dark. I think I may have put a bit too much on. I always struggle with the Primark makeup on knowing how much to put on, but it's definitely given me more colour in my cheeks. There we go. So as you can see, it's blended nicely with the bronzer. I do think the bronzer on this side is just a bit too harsh, but overall I think it's a nice blusher shade, even if you could use it as an eyeshadow as well. Then for highlight, I'm going to take this white goldy shade here. It's very, very light, and this is obviously the lightest shade I could use for my skin tone, so I'm going to just pop that on my cheekbones. It does give off a really nice glow. I do love a Primark highlight. I think they're very underrated, and they do give off such a nice subtle glow. And then sometimes they have some really nice, really powerful highlighters. So I'm just going to pop that down my nose, on my cheekbones, and I'm just going to put it just a little bit under my eyebrows. But yeah, it applies really easily. It's not patchy. It is a really nice subtle glow, which is the type of highlighter I really like. So yeah, I love this as a highlighter shade. Okay, so moving on to eyes, I think I'm going to use this section of the palette here. I'm going to take this as a transitional shade first, just popping it in my crease and over my lid gently. They do seem to have really good pigment. I do like a nice nudie brown as a transitional shade, and this is definitely a really nice shade. I'd definitely use this one again. It seems to be blending out really nicely, and so far there isn't any fallout underneath, but I do like how it's really easy to blend, and I think it is just a really nice shade altogether. So you could use this for multiple different eyeshadow looks. There we go, so that's it all blended out as best as I can. And I'm going to take this kind of dark purpley pink shade, and I'm just going to very lightly tap that in, and it has picked up a lot of product on that, so I'm going to have to be careful here. But I'm going to run that through my crease. I do really like that pinky purple shade, and I don't actually have an eyeshadow palette with a shade like that in, so yeah, I think that blended out really nicely as well. Blended lovely with the nudie brown colour for the transitional, and yeah, I really like that, and it's kind of given more of a lighter pink look but still a little bit smoky mixed in, which is something that I really like. I think it looks really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to take this goldy shade at the top to put on my lid. These two are very similar, these two gold shades. I think this one's just a tiny bit darker, but I'm going to go for that lighter gold. And I'm going to just pop that straight on my lid with my finger. Wow, that's really pigmented. I love that shade. I love like a pinky, smoky look with a gold lid. I just think it looks really nice together. Yeah, I love that shade. I only took one swipe on my finger. Wow, I love that. And the shimmer is just so nice. I'm just going to go blend it out quickly, maybe add a tiny bit more pink in the crease, and then I will be back. Okay, so this is my eyeshadow look before I put on my eyeliner and my mascara. So I love how it's a really nice pink in the crease with the gold on the lid, and I think it's blended out really nicely together. It was definitely easy to blend, and I'm not that great at eyeshadow, but I definitely I'm really happy with how it's looking. It doesn't look patchy. Sometimes it can look patchy just up here with some eyeshadows, but not this palette. I think it's really, really good. I think the shades are really pigmented. I think you really do get a good colour from them. And yeah, I'm very happy with how my eyeshadow's looking. It is a bit more pinkier in person, but the lights are making it look a little bit more nudie kind of look. But yeah, super happy with it. So I'm just going to go finish the rest of my makeup, and I will be back in a quick minute to show you my completed makeup look with this palette. Okay, so I am back. I have completed my makeup. This is what the final makeup look looks like. So I'm so happy with the blush, the highlight, and the eye look. I think the eyeshadows are definitely my favourite in all of the palette. I think they are just some lovely shades, some shimmers and mattes mixed in. So I like how the palette has day and night. So this could be a nice neutral look, and then you could have a really dark smoky look in the evening. So yeah, I love that about the palette. The only thing I wasn't a fan on was the bronzer. I don't think I'd be using this again, but I'd definitely be using the eyeshadows again. I think the shimmers are absolutely stunning. I definitely think that my makeup looks really nice, like I've used a full face of drugstore or even some high-end in there. And yeah, I am so happy with how the makeup looks. And I have paired it with Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick to match the pinky in the eyes. But yeah, super happy with how everything's looking. I feel really nice and glowy from the highlight. I think the blush is a nice subtle colour. I find the bronzer a bit muddy in my opinion. But yeah, I am really happy with this palette overall. I definitely think it's worth £7. I think that's a really good price. The packaging's gorgeous. The Mesmer-Eyes Eye and Face palette is a really nice big size, but you can also, it's nice and flat, it's not bulky packaging. So I think you could take it with you in a travel bag, and then just take maybe a lipstick and then a mascara and your foundation if you wanted to just do a very simple look if you were ever traveling away. So you can get this from Primark. They also sell some highlighters and blushes and bronzers individually, but they are very, very, very dark. So if you have a deeper skin tone, I'd say, yeah, go for it. But if you're pale like me, I definitely think they'd be really dark on you. So yeah, that's just something to bear in mind. So that is the end of my review. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!